Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Every Second Counts podcast with Matt and Tom. Unfortunately, Matt's not here. He's out on location due to his anniversary. So, Matt, happy anniversary to you and your wife. However, with me today is my Marine veteran homie, the big homie, Mr. Bryan Roof from Every Day's a Saturday podcast. He's also on Gunroom Radio as a DJ. So welcome to the show, Mr. Bryan Roof.
Thank you, brother. And I appreciate you having me on, man.
Absolutely.
And also, for the record, I joined your show before you joined mine. I took your invitation and gladly accepted it right away.
That's weird. That's strange.
I just want the receipt to be shown, because we know receipts are good, brother.
I track receipts. I keep receipts. I got the George Costanza wallet. I make sure I keep them because people are in the shadows.
You never know when you need those receipts.
Exactly. So what the hell do you think is going on right now?
With what, man?
I don't know. So I'm looking at certain things, right? Like, we're in a community. We're in a veteran suicide prevention, suicide awareness, military veterans together community. And why are we in the shadow? There's so many nonprofits. There's so much going on. But we're in the shadows, but we're worried about stuff going on overseas. We're worried about protests here. We're worried about crime. We're worried about shooting sprees. But we're not concentrating on the thing that could help the whole situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, brother. I'm going to have to agree with you. And what chaps my hinder more than anything else, though, dude, is hearing us fund countries that don't like us or would use that money against us. And then we got a big problem here at home. And it's like we're forgetting about what's going on here on the home front, bro. Like, now and not only that, dude, but we're starting to spend money on more than one home front. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Now, you throw in, we got the Ukraine home front that we're over here funding, and now we got Israel that we're funding. And then before that, we just threw some money at Iran. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when I see that kind of stuff, and then I know, being a part of a community that is suffering from the homeless, drug addiction, suicide, all these things, bro, it just really antagonizes me and starts to irk me a little bit, and it's a sad situation. And we're talking about billions and billions of dollars that could be, dude, imagine what we could do for our country if we would put this much money into the problems we have. We want to invest in everybody else's problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got me going on a tangent now.
No. Because I think the problem is, because you, like myself, I was itching to ask this question. How many hours a day do you watch the news? Because I think that's our problem. Not the problem. I mean, I do it. If I'm home, I have the news on. I only watch Fox News. I can't watch anything else. Meaning I can't. Like, I put it on now that I'm aware of things. I'm like, I wonder if the Channel 6 in Philly I used to watch when I lived in Jersey, I'm like, were they Democrats? You know what I mean? It's like
how legit
the local
were they?
news. Yeah, like
Yeah. How
so,
legit is
so
the news that I've been watching all my life, or this or
so
that?
so I think it was probably 2016 with all the hate and everything. But since I retired, it's like it's like you gotta watch. You gotta see what's going on because if not, you I don't know what they play, but it's not. I think the narrative's most definitely shifted.
And that's just it, bro. The unfortunate part about the world that we live in today is things could look real, but are not real, because the way that we can, I've learned a lot since I've got onto podcasting about the video editing world, and wow, blow your mind type stuff that you can do on video editing, and now put in the AI aspect of it all,
Hmm.
bro. And the thing about it is all the social medias that we get on our platforms, they pay attention to what we talk about, our search engines, and all that stuff, and they throw us in these algorithms that makes you, feel that it definitely keeps playing to what you want to see, and sometimes you don't get both sides of the story, either, and they'll
No,
play what they want to play, and they've also started shutting people down that don't fit a narrative that is their narrative. In a social media world, they will silence you, they
hmm
will shadow ban you, they will mute you, they will give you community guideline things and try to make your life difficult when you don't spin a narrative that fits their narrative, especially now on the Facebook world. And oops, I said that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I was shadow banned, and I think I still kind of am. And I'm not on some like I'm being shadow banned, like they're watching
Nah,
me.
yeah,
I'm like I used to be able to do a reel and get like 5,000 views off the rip.
right.
Now I'm lucky if I get 100 views. And I shared this picture of it was a cartoon of Nancy Pelosi with a low top dress um, in front of the Russian cat. And like I hope it was worth 60 billion or whatever it was. Like this is months. This is like January, February probably, and they hit me with that on Instagram. And then you could go and see your statuses. If you didn't know, you could go, yo, that shit's there still forever. It's gonna be
Right.
there. And I'm like I
It's like a
shared
report
it.
card.
Yo, you thought I made it. Like I did arts and crafts at the house. I shared it.
Right.
They had it was Donald Trump Jr. put it was a post. I shared it. It already had billions of views and everything. I shared it, and then it was like a wall.
It's amazing to me, bro, like what they allow through and what
Hmm.
they'll just sit there and chop away. I can't figure that part out. And I just know it's all around a narrative. And the unfortunate part is too, dude, is here we are now in America protesting, fighting each other on our streets over a war that isn't here, dude. We're putting energy. You know why? And I know here's gonna go another tangent. Opening up the damn borders, bro. What do you think's
Yeah,
gonna happen now? I mean, this would have never happened 20 years ago, dude. 20, 30 years ago, I don't see that people would have been protesting so far against 50-50. We used to be more of a nation that was behind each other and it was very pro American. Now it's just pro diversity and which is fine, but the thing about it is now we're starting to be okay with like a event where innocent people are and get slaughtered,
yeah,
go hiding into a bunker and get a nade thrown on them, and people are just going to be like, well, you know what they've been doing to them for so many years, and then all of a sudden we're starting to see all these things of feeling bad of the repercussions of what happened,
Yeah.
and I think people, the other part is, bro, is that people don't understand that combat's ugly.
Well, I think
There's just nothing that comes good from it.
I think I think the non-shock for us, well, it's still very shocking. Things that they show on the news is very shocking.
Right. No.
Yeah, I don't think they
Yeah.
would have ever showed that. So
Right.
that's weird right off the rip. But, going in after deploying after 9/11, the next war, the last war, and it just seems like it wasn't anyone like you hear it now. Democrats were against Bush. I don't know. Maybe I was just a young, dumb Marine. He was motivated. Everyone was motivated. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it wasn't for me at that point. It wasn't political
Right.
because I think the biggest thing is when you're in service, like a lot of these guys are, you can't say anything,
Yeah.
or you couldn't. Now, like you said, everything. See, you live in the real world. I don't. So, like, I would never see a protest here. Never, never. But being in that situation in northern LA, southern.
I'm in Southern
That's
California.
what I said, SoCal. So
Right.
you're in the southern part. How is that the reaction of everything that in the past couple weeks? Is there any?
So I haven't seen any protests personally, right?
Mhm.
But definitely there are reports that there have been some in LA and a lot of campuses that are like colleges.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
was pretty shocked to hear my daughter who goes to UC San Diego, um, you know, kind of hear her version of it, and everybody else's spin, because I think a lot of people are getting really mixed up here, and with the players involved, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think they realized what happened, and then you can't allow a massacre and then say no.
not only that, dude, but like housing known terrorist groups,
They run the government. You know what I'm saying?
Hamas, whatever. That group is known as a terrorist organization.
Hmm.
Now, Palestine is now suffering because of Hamas. But my thing is to Palestine, remove Hamas then. You guys remove them too. Everybody exterminate these guys. If they're a known terrorist group, they don't care, and there's no stopping them until and a lot of them don't care if they die, bro. And
But think about it. Go back 20 years.
oh, dude,
It's the same thing. It's the
you can
same
even
thing.
go further back too, like with this whole thing. These are all biblical things that have been going on
Oh no,
forever.
no. But I'm saying this. I see what you're saying, and absolutely. If you know anything about the Bible, you already know what are we doing? They're already wasting their time. But
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is we were already in another country. We were in Afghanistan. We were in Iraq. We were already going
right.
through these these streets and everything they're talking about. Like we already did this. And I think it's weak that we haven't already been in the ground already.
Where in Israel or just
Everywhere.
yeah? I mean,
Once we lost one American life, I'm not even talking about the hostages, but we lost American lives. What are we doing? That's you have to put the boot on the neck right then and there. Sitting around. I mean, this has been like the longest standoff of like just missiles and rocks for weeks.
it's it's just politics, dude. It literally boils down to politics
Hmm.
and where the money goes. And
Oh
typically,
yeah.
bro, if you follow the money trail, you'll understand why things are going the way that they're going. It isn't by freaking coincidence that America gave Iran, I think it was billions of dollars.
6 billion, but they didn't. I mean,
Then Hamas, who operates under Iran, starts to attack and launch missiles onto Israel. You know what I mean? It's like to me, I hate the part to think that, wow, man, I mean, our government is really screwing the pooch in a lot of ways. I mean, I'm not going to go too far into it, but
I think we're missing they're missing the fact that they're like, there's so many troops over there already. We're moving this fleet in. How many people are on that boat? How many people are in that fleet? And they're just saying, but they're, I don't know, you got Navy cats over there. You probably got Marines over there. You got SEALs probably already on, there, whoever already there.
they have a whole
But,
fleet. Yeah,
but
they're
it's,
out there, the Navy and the Marines.
but how they were reporting it, I heard it this morning. Dude was like, they're all the soldiers, the bases are getting hit, more people are getting injured, they're suffering TBIs. And he just played it off like that's not a major medical condition that veterans suffer with. And he said it. And, it was weird to see how it was just played off, where that's a common thing that causes someone to commit suicide, to causes a veteran, to have hardships after the military. And how we are judging and seeing different things and how we approach things and verbiage we're allowed to use, how he just ran over it. It pissed me off. And usually I don't care about the silliness, but like something like that, I was like, yo, they don't even understand. We don't even have these guys from the last war. You know what I mean?
Covered,
That
right?
so I think it's poorly managed by the military. This whole thing about what's really going on, I think.
Oh,
It's just,
absolutely, bro. I mean, it is discouraging when
mhm,
you start hearing numbers of aid and stuff going to other countries, and then here you hear about dudes offing themselves because they're struggling trying to go get their VA percentage upped, and they keep getting denied time and time again. And then
mhm,
or they're trying to reach out for help, and they just, because I think in some situations the VA is probably undermanned, in some areas, because there's a larger population out there, and what they forgot to realize is that, hey, there's waves in time where there's combat and then there's non-combat.
mhm.
It is a different time, and you got a different group of folks when they've gone through combat. You know what I mean? Versus like guys that even got hurt like on training exercises or things like that. But during the combat time, bro, like, which now we're starting to see a lot of because a lot of the Iraqi guys, this is like 20 years ago now, but now all the things that are ailments and stuff are really starting to come and show,
And
and then a lot of
the
guys are
V-
trying to
yeah,
go reach and get help. And here we are. They're talking about possibly even shutting the government down over shit because they can't even get things right, you know, but yet they're here sitting there funding AIDS. And I mean, dude, there's just so much with all this. It's just, that is where it is hard, I believe, for a lot of the veteran community to see this kind of stuff, man, and start hearing it, and be like, gosh, damn. And then watch some of it be mishandled.
mhm.
Like even the whole thing when they pulled out of Afghanistan and the Middle East and just said, screw it, and we just left all kinds of vehicles, equipment,
Mhm.
weapons, all that, dude. I mean, just, that kind of stuff is, whether people don't really look this deep into it, but that is damaging to the veteran community. Seeing these things, bro, it's discouraging for them,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
then they see it there and they're watching, some dumbass moves, and like watching things go, and they're thinking, wow, bro, like people lost their lives over this, and now we're just, we're done here. You guys have this. And now
I
they're
don't
finding
know.
some of it's even being used now. I mean, so like this stuff gets traded out over there, bro.
Let me ask you, don't you remember the commandant, the chief of staff, these military service members that serve on the chief of staff? Like, remember they used to give briefings? There's like one guy now, maybe, but you don't hear from anybody. You don't hear nothing from anybody or what's really going on and what news are out there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think at times they say too much about certain things. Like, when are you guys going there? What time are you going to get there? But like, not knowing exactly, who's gone and who's here, because we really don't know what's going to happen here. Because I know in Jacksonville, Lejeune area, when someone went on a deployment, that was a ghost town because half the people were gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Inside the
So I
skeleton crew.
so
Yeah.
I think it's scary not really knowing what's going on with the military because they don't report nothing and who's here, what's not. They're obviously looking for maybe bases or whatever the case is, but no one knows what's going on and who's even in the country. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, and that's it. And you don't even know sometimes what news feed you're getting fed, what narrative you're on. I mean, it's so convoluted now, bro.
Yeah.
And like, to get like real nitty gritty like information, you got to go like really do your independent research, because getting your news off of TikTok or Instagram or some places like that, dude. There's Canva, there's Adobe, there's all these Photoshop things you can do. So you got to just be careful. But it is a little, it is hard, dude, because especially, and I got to imagine for you, bro, you were a 20-year Marine, so you know, way more in tune for 20 years. You were close to, always had the ear to the ground, at least,
Hmm.
type of situation. To get removed from that now, and now it's like we got to get our information through some third, fourth, fifth party, network.
Yeah.
You just don't
Yeah.
know, bro.
And the only thing you hear coming is special interest groups. What are they doing with all this nonsense going on with the trans community and them trying to them and join in or whatever, them moving the barracks like Marine Corps wide. I know they always kind of other branches had different kind of setups. Maybe it was same sex or it was cross, but once they start taking down that and you only hear the bad news. Once you're out, you only hear
Yeah.
they're only doing this, they're only
Yeah.
doing this. You don't
Yeah.
hear no positive things.
Right. You're damn right, bro. Yep. I agree.
So it puts you in a weird position. But I'll tell you what, I was thinking about it today, and I think the best thing in times like this, and basically all the time, but times like this, being invested in some kind of veteran community, in a veteran group, talking to people, because I think that's the only way you could actually have that conversation, because you could have that conversation before people get in arguments with family members, people, I mean, all that nonsense. That's crazy to me, but all that nonsense, right? You hear all this, but then it's like, well, wait a minute. How how are you going to be able to walk out of this when another president comes or when it's too political? You got to get out of your own head. You know what I mean? So I think veterans. getting more involved with certain things veteran wise. I think what, create the whole, because you only hear a negative stigma.
Right.
It's
Yep.
either one way about the branches. This is what happens when you get out. You get out, you don't know shit, you're gonna kill yourself. Really, that's it. There's not too much positivity or anything that they're pushing out there. You know what I mean? It's not like there's new recruiting commercials. There's not like you could change everything that's going on. You can't change the whole outside. So I
No.
think it's hard, word getting out, word getting in, but it's that those veterans out there that if I wasn't a part of something and I didn't get into, meeting everybody and getting in the group, if I'm living in this remote place, I'm always by myself, even if I'm with people. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
you never get that connection in a certain place unless you're fortunate to have family members or whatever the case that serve. But it's real hard to have that connection. So I say that to say this: every day's a Saturday. Your podcast. Tell me about it.
Yeah, bro. So every day is a Saturday podcast. Man, let me tell you, first off and foremost, it has changed my life. I really did not expect doing a podcast to do what it's done for me and put me in connection with some great folks. You know what I mean? And kind of reconnect with people I lost connection with. You know what I mean? So, um, and I've learned so much, dude, in this past
Mm-hmm.
year about myself and about the world and the way I view things. Like I do just look at everything anymore implemented in front of us has made us to hate each other and to create division. Yeah, that's religion, race, creed, all that stuff, bro. Politics. It is really teams, clubs, this red, blue. I mean, it is really there for us to hate each other. And the more that we keep buying into this division, it's just something. So, I'm not going to get too crazy off topic, but these type of things, having this podcast has opened my eyes to it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I started the podcast, which was January 9th of this year, and my whole intention was, bro, is just kind of starting off and telling my story. And I thought, at least maybe my kids can listen to it and kind of get a little bit of an understanding of what their pops is like and what I'm
Absolutely.
doing. And then I'll kind of learn to get comfortable on a mic and stuff like that. So when I first started off, bro, too, I was on audio side, and I just started off playing on audio. It was just right off of Spotify and stuff like that, and then I started making goals for myself as I started saying, "Hey, I kind of like this," and and then as I started releasing it, I started getting feedback from friends and other people that started listening to it. Hey, like what you're doing. A lot of feedback came from guys that I had served with, guys
Mm-hmm.
and girls, in that I either grew up with or I served with. So when I started getting messages from them, I was like, it kind of motivated me. I was like, well, geez, if a couple people are, Eric, what up, brother? If a couple people are watching and paying attention, how cool. Now I was like thinking, well, you know what? Man, I've always kind of liked doing radio and just, stuff like that. So like me and my cousin, we used to like make movies and stuff like that. We just had fun doing like production type things. So,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna set goals for myself now. So then I was like telling myself, all right, man, I'm gonna start getting into video. And then I was like, I'm going to also every day I wake up, do something to try to make my podcast better. Work on the logo, work on contacts, work on this, work on that. So I've just spent a lot of time building it up, dude. And I'm still at that level of always just trying to make it just right and perfect. So, bro, I'm about to hit 50 interviews is what I'm gonna go ahead and top it off here. My plan is to drop my last episode in November, which is going to be the the Monday after Veterans Day. I'm going to drop my last episode, which will be interview number 50. And then I did 25 single solo episodes. And then, man, I did Wacky Wednesdays. I don't even know how many of those were. And then I've done Throwback Thursday. So I've done probably well over 100 episodes of just grinding, and I didn't realize how much I did until I started putting it all together and kind of, trying to put it all down so people could kind of see a list. I know sometimes with as much stuff as I have out there, it's hard to see what I have, but I was like, oh, I'll just list it. And I was like, wow, it's crazy because I had always said, all right, I'm going to stop that Monday after Veterans Day. And when I looked at it, I was like, holy shit, dude, that's going to be 50 interviews, which 50 is one of my favorite numbers.
Hey,
right?
Congratulations. That's incredible.
Yeah, thank you, bro. And so I'll stop then, and then I'll reconvene back up in January 9th of next year. So that's the same year I started season 1. So kind of kick it back up. Just going to do a little bit of revamping, try to, do stuff with the introduction. I've been learning on GarageBand how to make beats and stuff like that. So I'm going to see if I can kind of implement my own stuff and kind of start doing my own spiel. But yeah, man, I mean, the podcast, it started off as every day is a Saturday. Then I started having fun hanging out. We did that
Memorial Day.
In Memorial Day, we did that big panel thing, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's when I created Wacky Wednesdays, and I started saying, man, Wacky Wednesdays, let's do kind of a hangout. Well, it kind of ended up turning into me hanging out by myself for a minute. So I was just kind of playing music and just sitting there dancing to myself, and and if people would come through, I'd talk to them a little bit, but I'd stay on for about an hour. And then I got in touch with Military Broadcast Radio, and they wanted to take on Wacky Wednesdays. I was like, all right, cool, man. And I thought, oh, shoot, I got to change this up a little bit because I can't just be sitting there doing this. So I was like, I'll bring on nonprofits.
Well, you got to save everything for your OnlyFans. You can't
just, you know what I mean, dude? Like, gosh, they can't see the wiggle
out there for free,
bro. Yeah, anybody just can see the wiggle. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna have to start paying some prime on that. So
I am telling you, man,
that's for the OnlyFans people. You know what I mean? You want to see the special dance? $4.99 a month, no problem. You get that special access. You know what I mean? I'm cheap. But get me why I'm cheap right now. You know what I mean? $4.99 OnlyFans.
Discount code is roof. You know what I'm saying?
Drop it while it's hot. But yeah, man. So now on Wacky Wednesdays, we got nonprofits come on there. I added Derek Thompson from Shadowmark Podcast on to be a co-host to kind of help out. And we have Jason Steiner from Hero Stock. He always drops in, and we kind of have him as always a special guest. And so we do 30 minutes, let the nonprofit kind of talk. And then after that, we started this whole thing with hypothetical questions, which are just, random crazy questions. And it's kind of fun, just something fun to kind of lighten up the mood. It kind of also involves the nonprofit and gets them to, it's like icebreaker type stuff. Yeah, so it's kind of cool, man. And then man, I started off another show with doing Conspiracy Fridays with Donald Dunn, and that one is we just go down the rabbit hole, man, and we go down talking about all the things conspiracy theory involved. I know this upcoming Friday we're not going to have a show, but the following Friday we're going to be talking a lot about what's going on right now in the current stages. So. And but yeah, man, I mean, just I could probably keep on going, but to say the least, bro, I've enjoyed having a podcast. And also we're starting now Military United podcast streams, which it's
let me cross that off. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
go ahead. Go ahead.
So we're gonna, we're kind of starting something like that up too, where we want to start bringing in all of the people that podcast that are, have either they're advocates for military, they got stuff going on for the military, or they're from the military, and it doesn't necessarily have to be either or. They could have sports and all that stuff. We're trying to add in streaming, like with so they can stream there as well. I got several buddies that I've met along the way that are veterans, and they stream doing games, and so there's a whole world of people that love that too. You know what I mean?
They
So
stream during the games,
yeah,
like
while they're playing
sports
like Call of
games.
Duty, if they're playing Call of
Oh,
Duty, if they're
oh,
playing,
oh, they're gamers like
yeah, they're
that.
gamers, bro. Yeah, they're all gamers,
Oh,
and some of them do play, yeah, Madden and stuff like that. But
I thought you meant like when you said sports. I was like, I gotta
no,
listen to this guy as I'm watching the game.
no, but well, there. I was just saying, like, it would be cool to have a streamer that does talk sports, like and have like a sports show. The bigger vision for this is to eventually get like a Roku channel dedicated to the veterans, and so we can start. We want to start implementing the world of what everybody always draws to in the civilian world, but we want to bring that and give that opportunity to the military veterans. And that goes along, with gunroom radio as well, and that's gunroom radio and MUPS. They all tie in underneath each other, and they all have a direction of trying to help out vets. One side's the radio side, the other side's more of the video side, and it's just trying to give our veterans a voice, man. We would love
Hmm.
to eventually have military music video awards for our veterans, and actually have an event where they have like a red carpet, and we got some paparazzi, and they we play their videos up on the big screens, and then we call them up, man, and let
Yeah,
them do a little speech. You know what I mean? And do bigger vision. Like one
yeah,
day have an actual Super Bowl show where our veteran musicians out there are the Super Bowl show, bro, and they're the ones performing. And it's like, here are your veterans who served for you, and now they're playing for you. Let's give it up for our veterans.
hmm.
Big visions,
No,
bro.
no. I laughed because we talked earlier. Like I get locked into something, and then I overthink it, then I critique it, then I
Yeah.
redo it, and then I'm like, why do I even want to do it? I don't even want to do that. I want to do this. And so it's funny when you said that, because I was like, yeah, he don't sleep because hell yeah,
And as we talk about Betsy, like Donald Dunn is trying to bring in authors as well, and have a whole branch for dedicated to authors. Because man, we have a great deal of veterans out there that are all contributing to the
absolutely,
community, bro. And so we want to try to highlight that as big as we can, man, and put everybody out there. Because the other thing, brother, is something I've figured out be podcasting. I've learned a lot about how many organizations are out there to help people. And it's
yeah,
all different communities, man. If you
hmm,
like horses, there's a equine therapy. If you like hunting, there's therapy. You like fishing, there's that. You like gaming, there's that. Dude, I mean, there's all these different communities. So when people start feeling like, man, they can't connect with the community more, like, bro, there's a lot out there. But the
yeah,
thing is, we don't have places for us to tell us about it all the time, right? So it's hard. It's hard to find this stuff, and it's hard because people got to pay a lot of money for advertising because, let's face it, marketing, you got to pay to play. It's just part of the game. If you really want to
absolutely,
get yourself out there, you got to pay to play. But other than that, you got to be yourself, media pusher, all that stuff, and you keep getting yourself out there. But, that's why I thought it'd be a great opportunity to have Wacky Wednesdays and try to highlight nonprofits and just give them that opportunity to tell everybody, hey, this community's for you guys. You know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. So,
zero, Jack, zero.
but yeah, man. I mean,
Check.
it's all about just trying to build that community where it's a one-stop shop, and people can just start saying like, oh man, there's that, cool, how do I do that? Boom, it's right there here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think when you break it down and look at it, everything that's been forced upon us, every book that was given to us was paid and it was done by people that don't know nothing about us. I think kind of like what you were saying before, uh, perceptions change with growth. I've come across because when you realize the person you're talking to has no idea what you're dealing with, that those conversations, every word you say is delivered differently, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because you're feeling a certain way or you're reacting a certain way, and the perception is off. You're not arguing. You're seeing it from your view. And I think not understanding that before you're able to come to terms with it and realize more about yourself, like you said, being able to grow and being able to, I think the biggest thing, and it's the most non-Marine Corps thing, but being able to talk about it, like, you know what, I got these issues, I'm on this, I got this going on. But
Yeah.
when you're already down like that, it's easy to slide in with. And I was gonna make this post the other day, and it was funny because I was like, you know what? Everyone says, you're not alone because life's a long road, right? But you're not on that road alone. There's a lot of people all jacked up with you that served. So there's a million people dealing with something, and they always say, no one's going to be dealing with what you're dealing with. Maybe not the exact circumstances, but if you feel alone, guess what? So does about a million other people. So you got to connect, you got to intertwine, you got to get out. And Matt, my co-host, he kind of forced me out, and he had nothing to do with this. I forced him on this, but like it was the conversation of him hitting me up like, yo, what's going on? And I didn't want to talk to anybody. I tried to just, that was before. And then it was just like all it takes is one conversation, and then you're locked in right back where you were, and that friendship grows, and you become more aware of each other, and I think that's what happens. Go ahead.
You just right there. You said the word right there. Awareness.
Hmm.
Awareness is key to succeed, bro. Like, I mean, it's huge. And unless you are aware of something, you can't really fix it. Unless you're aware of a situation, you can't, handle it. There's just so many things about awareness. And that's kind of the important thing with having these podcasts is try to be open it up, man, and don't be afraid to talk about stuff. Have those tough conversations that you got to have, and realize that it's okay not to be okay. And and some of us experience things that others will never ever have to experience. You know what I mean? But when you sit there and you talk from vet to vet to vet, and you start to hear the same kind of things that they do. They go to a restaurant, they have their back to a wall, they're sizing everybody up in rooms. They got time limits to when they go to places, they got to be out. They like to hang out in their rooms, in their garages, outside. You know what I mean? And be disconnected. These all are all things that we all kind of go through, but we all get stuck, dude, in
I was,
in isolation.
I was gonna say stay out my windows. Don't spoil it for us.
Right.
Fight free. Betsy Ross, if you haven't gone out and got it yet, go get it.
But
Go get one and two too. Go
but
ahead.
that's just it, bro, is having awareness and being aware that it's okay, dude. Like, like the thing about it is I wish I was more aware when I was younger. Imagine how many more relationships I could have saved probably in that, and how much I could have been a better dad to my two older kids. And
Hmm.
and that was a rough thing that I had to sit there and make aware of and own it and say, gosh, damn, dude, I wasn't a great dad because, man, I was a hurt dude. I could make excuse after excuse as to why I was the way I was, but I have to own it. right?
Mm-hmm.
Because to be a better dad to them and to be a better dad for my little dude who's 6, I had to own that and I had to be aware of it, and then can't make the same fucking mistakes, and
Yeah,
that's where we are as humans. You got to learn and do better, and,
I
and and
agree.
always grab a ledge going up, and try to stay away from the slides that are going to take you down. And I'm always trying to find that next ledge in anything, dude, that I try to do. Like, even when it becomes, it's crazy, bro. Like, before, like, meeting you guys, through, like, I gotta throw a shout out to the Contagion Effect show, Eric and Mike.
Eric. Yeah.
They really brought a lot of us together.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and
yeah.
and,
I
and,
think
and
they're
we
the nucleus of it. Yeah.
right. And so, man, I didn't realize how much I needed friends or people until I really hung out with you guys, and I walked away from, like, that hero stock feeling of, like, gosh, like a feeling of almost emptiness. Like, you guys are so far, but I love that we all have a connection
Mm-hmm.
through, Messenger and all that stuff. But it's crazy because, dude, I didn't used to be a guy sitting here on my phone and messaging people and have any kind of a Facebook Messenger message. Like, now I
Mm-hmm.
go through and I can't even keep up. I'm just like, all right, well, I'm where I started. Like, you know what I mean? But it's
I,
crazy.
I think it's because it's I don't want to, how do I say? So there's no I don't want to say it because it's I don't want people to take it the wrong way, but it's there's no judgment at all.
Yeah.
No one cares. And you could say that in today's world, and it might people say that there's no judgment, everyone judges everyone. I don't care. But in
Yeah.
our group, in our community, it is what it is. Like, no matter what, we have a connection now. And without that, that's what makes it special. That's why other communities grow, and we find out more about nonprofits, and they have people, you know what I mean? And I think that's the amazing thing. And especially you guys going the route or the way you guys are trying to go with it, because the more podcasts we'll talk, the more podcasts, the more I'm going to say it. After we talked, I had to talk to Matt and be like, "Yo, we're gonna do this." Blah, blah, blah. And then you made the signs and everything and all, and I was like, it's lined up perfectly. It's 6 and 6. He'll have to redo everything.
No, no, don't ever feel like that, bro. It's all about growth, and that's what we want to do.
Absolutely,
We want
energy.
to, hell yeah, we want to put everybody in front of each other, bro. That's
Yeah.
helping vets, man. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what that's all about, is just putting it out in front of a group of followers that, follow a page, and we're hoping that our demographic is hitting the right demographic of folks. But, dude, that's the whole purpose of it, to help you grow, to help your podcast grow, to get
Yeah.
another message out there for people that need to hear this stuff, man.
Hmm.
Because, bro, you put out some great clips, man. On some very motivational, very real videos, that express things that people need to see.
No one
You know what I
sees it.
mean? You know what I mean? But
But
but we want to help that. You know what I mean? And that's what
no.
MUPS is all about. And Gunroom Radio is just putting it out there, man.
And I do it as real as it can be, because no, I how can I say it? Because I thought when I said it on the contagion effect, I said it in a negative way. A lot of people raise awareness through push-ups. A lot of people raise awareness doing different activities, but you're not saving anyone's life. You know what I mean? So it's people in the civilian world look at all these nonprofits, and it's like, well, what are you doing? And it's like, well, someone has to give a fuck. Someone has to care and keep it moving. So I do it to I do it on hopes that it would get shared and someone could see it and reach out to someone else that, like, is just happy as the day goes, but you know how that goes. There's no real signs. There could be, but in some cases there might not be. You know what I mean? And without having someone just talking with you, and that's why I came up with the contact, care, and listen. Like you can't just, how you doing? I'm living the dream. We all know what that means. So I'm living. I'm everything's great. You know, F my life. You know what I mean? So it's like when you look at it in that facet, it's like, all right, we care about everything that's really going on in reality. But I'm gonna put it to you like this: hey, this is what it looks like, and I want the people to be able to see it, and the thing I get that I don't like is it's like it's a me thing. Like it's a me thing. Like I'm crying out, like help me, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Like this is you felt the way you felt. If you felt it for me, like oh man, this Marine, is on the end of his rope. Good. Spread that fucking awareness out to everyone else, so then everyone else can see it. You know what I'm saying?
I love it, dude, because you know what, bro? You bring awareness to stuff that a lot of people don't want to hear and don't want to talk about. You
Thanks,
know what I
Henry.
mean? There's and that's why, man, I don't know, bro. It's like, things have changed so much since getting into podcasting and us all connecting. Like I said, it just keeps building and stuff. And all I want to do is man, put us all at that level, bro. Like, why can't you be a Joe Rogan? Why can't the contagion effect be a Joe Rogan out there? Why can't we have that effect, like that too? But, the thing about it is, man, we just got to be tireless with it, bro. And sometimes, it's discouraging when you're like, oh, dog, I got one view or something. You know what I mean? But hey, you got one, and that's something to build off of each and every time. You know what I mean? And the thing I've learned about the podcast world is it's definitely not a marathon. I mean, it's not a race, it's a marathon. It's definitely
Mm-hmm.
going to take some time to develop. You got to keep putting it out there, man. I mean, some of these more popular people out there, have just kept going and kept on it, and that's part of what we want to do is show that we're consistent with what we want our message, and we want people to keep hearing it and hear, that we have these grown man conversations, and it's okay, man.
Yeah.
Like, because we got to get away from the stigma of like, oh, don't talk about it. No, let's go ahead. That's kind of why I did my episodes the way I did, is I had to
Mm-hmm.
talk about some very uncomfortable things, even things that when my wife's like, wow, can't believe you said that. I'm like, well, babe, it's not that I'm happy about it. It's that I want to, I really want to make sure people don't go and make the same mistakes out there. And then, the more that we talk about stuff, the more that other people can learn from it. You don't talk about it, no one's going to hear about it. And, that's the other thing with these podcast shows, trying to get some of these stories out there from these veterans or people that are doing great things, because no one, there ain't no one out there doing like that, putting it out there. You know what I mean? So why don't we just have those kind of show where we're highlighting the people out there that are trying to make a difference, trying to create communities that are legit, trying to stop that 22, which we already know that's just a number that's marketing, because there's bigger number, probably a fish to fry out there. But the thing is that, we have to just keep pushing forward and doing our mission and showing that, hey guys, come on board, man. We all talk and we all love each other, and we're going to get through this just the same way when we all served.
Yeah.
When you're in the freaking muck together, bro, it's, you end up kind of really growing that bond with the person that you're sitting there going through the muck with. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's, that's just part of this. Now we're trying to build a community. Now we have the ability with technology to reach out and actually damn near touch each other.
Sounds
That's
like
the
you
next
were.
thing, bro, is here
Sounds like
past
you're.
it. You know what I mean? Like,
Sounds like you were trying to build another show with me.
right? Man, but I love doing podcasting and stuff like that, because For me, it's my way of
Oh,
therapy.
yeah.
It's me talking to like-minded folks who understand more or less where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? So yeah, and and that's the other great thing is we can help promote people like Betsy, Chris Whittemore, all these other great authors who have put out some great, books and stuff like that. And we all have other great podcasts like Triple Threat Vets podcast. I'd love for you guys to contact me and get you guys under MUPS and start putting you guys also in another platform to help you guys, be seen by hopefully a genre that we got. But man, bring it. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
want any veterans out there. Like if if you're even thinking about trying to podcast, shoot, try it, man. I mean, literally how I started, I took a gaming headset, kind of like this one with this little mic right here, and plugged it into my cell phone, man, and I just started recording, on podcasters or whatever it was.
Oh, you're an Android guy, huh?
Nah, hell no, bro.
How'd you plug it in?
iPhone.
Oh, with the adapter.
You got
You
to
gotta
get the
explain.
special. I have
You're fancy like that. You probably have an
California,
Apple
bro.
TV.
You know what I mean?
You probably got an Apple TV.
No, Roku. We are, that's the Walmart
Hey.
special, Roku.
Hey, if you don't have a Roku, if you have cable right now, you are dumb. All I have is Roku and apps.
Yeah.
Hulu Live and apps. That's all you need.
Exactly.
I got Hulu Live and apps, son.
Yeah.
That's it.
And we get like the free Netflix too because of having or I think it's T-Mobile, whatever our phone is, because they had a contract with them, so we just got like that free. So yeah, bro, we just get like that. The Hulu,
My Roku is
TV.
full.
Oh yeah,
of everything. HBO, every app, everything you could look it up. And I sit there and I watch Fox. I go on HBO, Netflix. I'm gonna go watch something.
Well,
After 2 hours of that, I put Fox back on.
See, that's a big thing that we're kind of driving for too with MUPS is to start a Roku channel.
Yeah.
So and for podcasts to be played over there, we want to start getting comedy involved because there's a lot of comedians out there that do stand up in the veteran world. We want to get sports involved. We want to just have our daily podcast that, I mean, no matter what, even if we all have the same guest on, it all comes out to being a different, episode, because of how we all interview and how we all, do our shows.
So out of all 49 episodes, we'll say, of Every Day's a Saturday, what do you think is your favorite episode?
Wow. That's tough because I've had a lot of favorites along the way, a lot of great people. But one that I probably really enjoyed was with my buddy Staff Sergeant Cruz, who is currently serving in the United States Marine Corps. What intrigued me with him is one, he's still in, so he's active, right? So I get to hear how the different world is. I didn't know that the females now train on the West Coast at Camp Pendleton. I did not know that, and he was there to witness, them come through and see how motivating they were, and of course, being the first females on site, he got to watch them come through. What do you think? They have something to prove, right? So, he just said it was crazy having, because you're used to, he went through both worlds, like he went through the world prior to females training with males on the West Coast side. So he's just hearing, now he's hearing a whole different, yelling over there at a different tone. But he was by far, and so one, I got to learn about the current situation. I got to hear some really great stories about his boot camp, some, like recruits doing some real wild stuff. And so I had so much fun with him, and he was also one of my top episodes. So we did a round 2, and then we also talked about him drill instructor school, what that was like. And, basically, it's crazy to think that dude went through boot camp, I think around 9 times.
Wow.
Because of being a drill instructor and then having to go through, 9 different cycles or whatever. dude went through boot camp more than most people, you know. So I had a whole nother found respect also, you know, for that side of the world too.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you know, and he's the dude, you know, he's a air winger. So he works on I think the Ospreys or something like that. And so he's just had some really great stories. And like I said, hearing the current events of how the Marine Corps is and things that they're doing, like, bro, he's part of like working on tablets and stuff that for them to carry around in boot camp, you know, instead of the old green monster, you know what I mean? This dude is
Don't
he's
worry,
gonna
mine's outside in my shop.
but these guys are gonna like start doing tablets and stuff like that. So, you know, kind of hearing the new age way of how they're gonna like conduct training, I was like, gosh dang.
Do you have your honor, courage, and commitment card?
I do. You know what's crazy, bro? I got you, you don't ever want to play with me because I even got this is my recruiter's business card.
I don't
This
know.
is my
I don't
recruiter's business card. Do you got
I don't
that?
know. I might. You see, my whole career was jacked. The recruiter I joined under, and I know that whole world now.
No, right?
So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
but my recruiter, I joined and then he got out. Obviously, that wasn't the case. You just don't disappear. So, but he disappeared. And then I met the recruiter who was going to send me to boot camp 2 weeks before I went to boot camp. So we didn't have no functions. We did. I ran one iced tea. I think like there was nothing of that. So I think I was glad. I was glad how things went because everything that could go wrong probably did. But I but in that mind state, you're not allowed to think about it.
Right.
So you just keep moving. Like I broke one of the pictures inside the receiving. You know, you have the no, well, you wouldn't know, but so it's kind of like it's the same thing in MCRD, but when you go in, they have all the sergeant majors or commandants on the wall and
Right.
everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't know what week of boot camp it was, but we were in there and I had my pack and t- tell me I'm just knocking pictures off, knocking, just popping them off the wall.
Bro, with your pack or what?
Bro,
You
are you
just
kidding me? Yes, with my pack. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew I was getting yelled at and I was getting pushed. So
oh
I don't even
man.
know. Bro, I'll put it to you like this and then we'll wrap this up.
You always
I
come
spent
in
a
hot though, Doug. Like I mean,
yo,
now you're
yo,
making me laugh because the whole hero stock shit too, and you came in and flung the beer on the
hold
wall.
on.
You know?
I come in hot, son. I come in hot. So I'll put it to you like this real quick. I went through receiving at recruit training, and then obviously people familiar with the Marine Corps, you if you have a buddy and you join another buddy program, they put you together.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately for me, someone from another platoon was a buddy with someone in my platoon. So this was right after you dump everything. Oh, you dump your whole sea bag and everything, and then they count you off to shove everything back in because you got 3 months then to get all your stuff back. Not me. We went to chow, went to bed next morning, grab your stuff, and then we did a sea bag inventory. Me and my new drill instructor. He was so happy to see me and hold up 6 black socks, wool socks or whatever. I had one. Hold up six. When I mean one, I had one black sock. Boom. One. I had 2 black socks. One dress one and one wool one. That was it. And the guy next to me was probably like 5'8". Because when you rolled your camis, this back then, I don't, they probably don't do it now with these Marines, but you used to roll them before you bloused them. You could just imagine where these trousers were above my sock. Like like if things could have went bad,
You're high
this
watering, bro, or what?
the first Sunday I got caught smiling in the head. That was the next 3 months right there.
Oh man.
And I was never going to join the Marine Corps. That wasn't planned. That wasn't in the cards.
Yeah. You know what's funny, bro, is your shit's a lot similar to mine though, because I kind of had everything go wrong with me too. But literally, this one drill instructor, dude, hated me with every. I could be the fastest son of a bitch passing by him. Anytime he was smoking people on the quarter deck, I would always be. He just catch. I would catch his eye. I would even know, like, oh no, he's smoking fools. And I'm like thinking, oh shit, I gotta get past this motherfucker, you know. So I would be like, gosh, damn, I gotta go to the head. This fool's over here at the quarter deck. I gotta go behind him and be like, buy your leave, sir, and all that bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and as soon as I say it to him, he's gonna be like, Roof, get your. And that's every time, dog. He'd be like, Roof, get your ass over there, empty your pockets. You know, take your blouse off, and we're gonna smoke you. You know, like. I just be sitting there like, oh my gosh, bro. I'm like, I'm trying to do everything to impress this guy. He just had it out for me like a boner though. And I was just like, I could never do nothing, bro.
Was that like before y'all went to the Dodger games, or was that
we never did that. We never got it. Was that a thing?
Was never. Did y'all go to In and Out?
No. Do they leave MCRD now, bro?
Yeah, I saw them.
Oh no!
I went to a Dodger game 4th of July when I was stationed at Miramar. We drove up to L.A. and they don't what do they do outside? Tailgate. They don't tailgate in L.A. You know, you show up early, like a football game. Maybe a football game they do. Baseball they don't. The game started at like 5, I guess. It's 11 o'clock, or it's right off of not Hollywood Boulevard. What's the other one? The major road. You know what I'm talking about? It's you got Hollywood Boulevard and the other major road.
Or there's
Sunset. It's right off Sunset.
Sunset Boulevard. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sunset Sunday morning at like 11 o'clock ain't the happiest place. I was like, Hollywood sucks. like I saw, you know, we did Star Walk. We went to, I think, Hard Rock's right there. We did the whole thing. But to get back to the game, you couldn't even get in there till 4. But right around sometime they came on the whole section all the way in the top. The top and Dodger Stadium is real small, and they were in the bleachers, son. The top, they were touching the sky. But they were all lined up there.
Yeah.
No, they were lined up there. I don't know. That's the rumor out there.
You know, maybe it was the Marines that got first place in the drill competition. Because I'll tell you right now, I didn't get first place. So you know, I was actually. I don't know how they do it anymore. Like back in the day, whatever we placed in the in the drill competition, when we went up north, we had some kind of duty and. We were second place, and our duty was in the chow hall. I made salads. I was tossing salads, you know, like a madman. I'm
great at tossing
salads now. Yeah.
Thank you. Tell Jennifer I said what's up. So hey, real quick.
Yeah, buddy.
Every day is a Saturday. Make sure you go to Instagram, you go to YouTube, you go to Facebook. Look for Bryan Roof. Look for Every Day's a Saturday. Look for Gunroom Radio. Download the app. It's also on Spotify.
The Gunroom Radio? Nah.
No.
Every Day's a Saturday, yeah. Spotify and all the platforms that stream podcasts.
What wasn't Gunroom Radio on? Wasn't it on Spotify?
No, Gunroom Radio is its own since it's internet radio. So it played through Airtime Pro.
Oh, so no, that was Don's show then.
Yeah,
that was Don's show then.
In a gun room,
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. No, so hey, if you're looking and you're out there and you want to download the app, Gunroom Radio app, I mean, yeah, two drunk dudes in a gun room app, and you have Gunroom Radio on there as well as the website and other fun things. So make sure you check that out. And what do you got for the people before we bounce off here?
Hey, you know what I say? Make the day yours and make sure it's not making it theirs.
Yo, you just killed it, yo. I love the sign off. Just killed it. All right. Make sure if you do it, do it your way, right?
Yeah, because I
If
was gonna
not,
cuss. I was like thinking maybe because usually I say it a different way. It doesn't come out great unless you cuss. So
thank you for cleaning it up for me.
I really
I
wanted to clean it
appreciate
up.
that.
Being on, Marine show, I'm sure we got to keep it G.
Yeah, even though we said fuck about 300 times already.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, right.
hey, go check out Every Day's a Saturday podcast, Gun Room Radio, and Every Second Counts. Let's go.
Hell yeah.